So I think we really beat a good team today that is down. They're injured right now. You know, missing their point. They're a really good freshman point guard. I think Davis was out. He could have been. He's a good backup back when he's been plagued by injuries. Really good player. They got some super freshmen that are out as well. And so Archie's doing a great job with that team, and really feel fortunate to get a win. We were just missing one guy, and with Isaiah, we thought maybe he could go, and then he just did not feel he could go. So another opportunity for somebody else. And today it was Brandon Johns got a great opportunity and made the most of it. So I love that we had one of the stats that they mentioned to me is offensively Charles and Jordan didn't have the same half in the second half in the first half, and still we found a way to score some points enough to beat them. Our defense was really consistent. Juwan Morgan is just an exceptional. Seen a lot of post players come in here. You know, the Sullingers and the Zellers and things like that. That guy just gets baskets. He gets under everybody. John did a great job in the first half, and in the second half, I think worried about foul trouble, whatever. It wasn't as good, but really pleased with our overall effort and our team defense.
Ethan, you want to start us off?
John, what allowed
Good to have you back, Ethan.
Thanks, John. What allowed you guys to get off to such a fast start?
We made some shots and we really guarded them. We just really came out. I think we were in better rhythm man to man because we just played Penn State, right? We had been into a funk there a little bit when we were just playing against all zones, and you don't know how people are going to play it. And so I thought we just had a really good rhythm, and we set the tone, got them in foul trouble. There were two big guys in foul trouble early and really took advantage of it.
How much did that foul trouble make a difference?
Those two guys are tremendous. I mean, they're tremendous, and I know they're really tough to stop. And now Archie does a great job getting them into situations where they can be successful, or he doesn't have to do anything. Just give them the ball one-on-one, and they'll get a bucket. So losing them for, they both probably sat about 20 minutes total. That's a big difference for us.
Down here with John.
You talked about Brandon earning it in practice.
Yeah.
How much of this was him earning it? How much was the
No.
need? And
It was a need. Yeah, it was a need. He's making progress in practice, but we've seen that a few times in practice, and it was just he's just sort of trying to learn, what's the next step, what's the next play, and it's just really simple things that as the game slows down for him, he's more capable of doing that going further. But that was a matter of foul trouble by Austin, foul trouble by John, and Brandon getting in there. So really pleased with it, and hopefully that gives him confidence, so that the confidence in all these things we've been teaching with him actually works, and he can do it. Really good kid, love him, absolutely love him. But he also has, like many of our guys, got another gear that we're trying to get out of him, and we will.
Chris, you need victors for you?
He did. Yeah, he did. He did. The team was excited about it. Everybody loves Brandon. People were really excited for him in the locker room.
And that little half hook by Axe, has that just become kind of hard?
Yep, he works on it. We do it every day. With the jump wall that you've seen now, it's almost, for a guard of his size, it's very impossible for guys to go up. Used to go up, make contact, get fouled, or it was a block charge, really. And you were going off that. The only way that the smaller guards can score right now in front of a jump wall is the old-fashioned hook. So we work on it, and you'll probably see a lot of it in the future. Soft and nice.
On your right,
Kareem would be proud.
John asked Jordan to describe the difference he feels and the freedom from a year ago that he has to this year, and he chuckled and then said it was a matter of trust. What's your perspective on that?
Well, it's a complete package of having a guy that you got to trust he's going to learn with good shots at, but you don't want to take that hunting personality he has away from him. But last year it wasn't about that as much. It was defense. That like most freshmen, like Brandon, like David, right? Iggy's been beyond his years with his defense. He's really done a good job with it. They're just everybody is making up for the little mistakes that they're going to make as the game slows down. And so that was something that was for an 18-year-old last year to play on that team. That was going to be hard. That was a pretty good team, and he made just enough impact to have this, and then over the summer, I just saw a great growth in what's important to winning basketball as opposed to, the way he probably was playing his freshman year.
Stay on that side with Nick.
John, you guys have a fair amount of guys back from last year, of course, in your core. How much do you believe that they lean on some of that stuff, what they went through?
Well, Xavier just exudes it. He is like, I've been here, he's challenged him to be the all-time winningest player because he's played on two really good teams, and he's won a lot of games over these first 2.5 years. So I think that is where it comes from, but don't discount what Charles is just huge, and it's about winning. It's about winning. The seniors want to win. This is his 4th year in college, he just wants to win. And then John's been through it a little bit too. But other than that, everybody's sort of new at it. And that's why I was excited to get this win without Isaiah and still get the win.
Has it felt like this, though, in a while with a core like this? You got 3 or 4 guys that you just
Yeah.
said they were back that had all that experience.
You know what? We're like, and knock on wood, we're like a no-maintenance type of team. If you saw our grades the first semester, it's like, this team is just like we get to coach basketball with them, and that's the way it was last year. With people just doing the next right thing.
Over on your left with Tom.
John, of all the 15 wins you have, is this a little bit different than the rest of them in the sense that all of a sudden you have a larger team? I mean, with Brandon playing and with Isaiah, you still went 9 deep. Is this somewhat of a breakthrough, and how confident you feel bringing Brandon out there when you go to Champaign?
Yeah. Well, when you're playing against at Illinois, but playing at Illinois, it's a whole different animal now. It's going to be where they're going to go no catch, pressure, and it's going to be you won't be seeing us running those plays. They won't let us run any place. So that's something maybe Brandon can help. We'll see how he does in the next 2 days. But he's certainly now, there's an argument for him to be the big man, first big man off the bench after he played today.
Ari?
John, what did you see from Charles today, especially matched up with a player like Romeo Langford?
Well, I know he wanted that challenge. He's got a lot of respect for Romeo, and he wanted to come in as a 4th-year guy right now. We wanted to play through him as much as we could and see what he was going to do in that situation. And, when we got, I think Langford got a second foul, that was a design play to see if we could get that second foul. And Charles had a tendency to take the ball strong, and then right at the end, right, sort of get, not be as strong with it. That was a strong baseline drive, and that's who he can be. If there's a block charge at the end, so be it. When you get to the rim, you are one of the elite athletes on maybe the quickest athlete on that court out there today. You got to do that, and I think that's a great example of it.
On your right with Orion.
How much has Brandon improved his awareness on defense?
Oh, just like this. I mean, it's going up all the time, but the game, like I said, the computers have just changed everything. Every game is going to be a new scouting report with a whole different set of rules of what they do. It's not, with the 30 seconds and the coaches having practice time, they can change things so quickly. And for him to be defensively on to the next play, we'll switch certain screens some days. Sometimes we'll hard hedge, sometimes we won't hedge. Sometimes we're going to give help off some guys and not off others. That's all going through his brain. But here was a center in high school going like this. And that's the way you played the game, where he just had to guard his man. So he's growing in it, and that's the important thing.
Have you seen his mindset of preparation change now that he knows he's needed?
Yes, and there's a process to it. And hopefully this will be a catalyst to that process.
On your left with Jacob.
John, what does Brandon need to build off of this performance? What does he need to do?
Just do this in practice and do this in games. But just do it in practice. He would tell you himself, right? We played 4-on-4 the other day, full court, 4-on-4, no rules. He was a non-factor in the game. Non-factor. He's good. He's good. He's got to be a factor in these games, and that was great. And that gives him a lot of energy to say, yeah, this getting to 212, playing harder, playing smarter, just embracing the contact is what all I need to do, and I can be a really good player. So I love the kid. He's going to be a really good player, is my sense, right? But we got to continue to get him so that he can embrace a role like that.
On your right with Andrew.
But you mentioned Charles' dunk, but I mean, he was getting steals early.
Yep.
He just came out
Yep.
seemingly on fire.
Yeah.
I mean,
He was fired up about his matchup, right? And he was, and because he got respect and he knows how good that Langford is. So he was fired up, but he's fired up about, or we fire him up about every matchup. But sometimes it's not, the guy doesn't come in with that type of reputation. So he was fired up about that, and also fired up, the last couple of days in practice, I really felt that we needed to go back to him with some more stuff, just to make sure that he continued to grow. I looked at his assists last year, and he had 45 last year at this time, and he's at 15 right now. And I said, we're not putting the ball in his hands enough, right? You don't have Mo in a pick and pop three, that's an easy assist, right? He doesn't get those anymore, but he can do more with the ball, and I got to trust him, he's going to see it as well as score.
And they've got some tough shot makers, obviously. Were you pleased with the
Yeah,
defense overall?
They really I thought they made some guarded twos. You know, they're one of the best they're out of the best two-point shot-making team in the country, and we're one of the better ones guarding the two-point shot. So it was that matchup, and we just did enough to win.
In the middle with Lucas.
Coach, can you just comment on Charles's growth as a basketball player when he came from Kentucky to now, as a senior, being one of the big pivotal players on this team?
Yeah, that's why he came here. He came here to grow and try to continue. Just when you come to it, you transfer and you have to sit out a year, you better be ready to grow, because you're gonna be off to the side for a little bit, and you better embrace the weight room and get. One thing, if you remember last year, you used to have a lot of walks. You used to get in and fall down in the lane and be off balance. He does these balance exercises every day just to get him better at it. This kid's got a brilliant future because he's got a really smart mind, right? He picked up some switches and some off-the-ball switches that we do today. That he picked them up before any of the coaches did. He's really a bright young man who's got a brilliant future, and I love right now, check his stats as far as shooting threes the last several games. He's got a really good number there.
Got time for a few more in the back TV.
You mentioned no maintenance already, and this is something that went back to last year too. You guys don't stare at your record, you don't stare at your ranking, and the guys say that's a team thing that they do on their own without being told. How would you just describe this group of guys?
I think it's a purposeful way we recruit, to get a kid that's going to embrace this thing, right? That it's all about the team, and that it's not something we have to preach. Do we have to teach it? Yeah, but we don't have to preach it, because it's natural. They come from great moms and dads, great families. That I've had the parents say, "Hey, coach, I don't even know why he's playing. He's not playing well enough." Instead of being upset about that, so it is it's really that type of team that I think that there's certainly going to be times where somebody doesn't play well or doesn't get the ball in situations where we're going to have to speak about it. For the most part, they go to class. We don't have to. My assistants, talk to my assistant about that, because they've been other places. They're not babysitting kids off the court or on the court. They just come and play, and off the court they're really good kids that I know our faculty and our administrators are really proud of.
We're going to close with James and then Chris.
Has Isaiah made any progress, or is he still just trying to?
Yeah, I thought we made progress, because I think that the training staff took some steps to try to relieve the pain and loosen things up, and I thought we were making progress, but it wasn't enough for him today, and we're dabble in that area. If he says no, he says no, and that's up to him, and we trust him 100%. He's worked for 2 more days on this, so it's been 4 days working on it. But it's still not like with the back problem at times myself. He's out there, he can shoot threes. I'm not worried that it's going to be lingering, but we're probably, if for 4 days we haven't got better, we may look at other methods right now. Let the doctors take care of it.
Chris, you want to close?
They cut it to 7 or 9. You guys got some really good looks. Can you just talk about the response?
Yeah, a team like that is going to score points, can score very quickly, or just get to the foul line on us, because they got in the one-on-one really easily, really easily in the second half. So we got to find ways to get those buckets that time. I think Jordan Poole again got one of those. He got to the foul line and knocked some down, and Charles made a big cut, cut, and X found him. And so they are growing in their connection right now. I can just see it. We're trying to put them in situations to be connected, but they're sort of feeling it probably as well as they have all year.
And then guys like Xavier and John have been through the freshman troubles. How much do they talk to Brandon and kind of coach him through that?
Xavier talks with everybody, and I would say John probably is the most talkative he's ever been. So he is doing that. I could see him with Brandon afterwards, but Xavier is the guy there, and Charles. Those guys are in those guys' ears because if you look at Xavier's freshman year, it was what Dave DeJulius did today. It was in and out so that Derek could get back out there. And he's been there, he's been through it, it's really been helpful, I think, for our young guys.